Yeah, what's good? This be the G Shaw Cipher. You officially tuned in to On the Grind Live, where we support anybody out there grinding in any capacity, any reason. If you got a grind and you want to talk about it, this is where you need to be. So, with that being said, if you see me, you see dope people, you see incredible people, you see people grinding, you see people doing what they do on a daily basis from all over. You know what I mean? And we appreciate you tuning in because we tuning in with you too. But right now, I got somebody dope with me. Like I said, if you see me, you see dope people. Shout out to the homie Bud Marley. What's good? What's good, my G?
Splash. What's good, big homie?
Listen, man. Listen, I know we just talked not too long ago on Power 107.6 The Truth, but we had to bring you up here to get people to understand what you got going on for real. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. Listen, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna get deep dive into it. For the people that's tuned in on the radio station before, when we talked with Bud Marley before, he elaborated on on a couple things. There was a time when you mentioned, confinement and when you was down, you know what I'm saying? So how did that influence your music and your writing style as you were coming up?
I'm glad you brought that back up again, brother, because a therapist once told me, how was you able to still have the mind frame of being free while in confinement under those conditions? Because simply as this, you know what I'm saying? I did the time, I ain't let it do me. Even though I'm locked up, but my mind and soul and body is free. Like my mind and soul is free
Right.
from under those conditions. So yeah, so I just took that. I just took that method and just applied it to everyday life and ingesting a different life in there. Whether I be gone for a long time or preparing myself to be back in the world, in the community, dealing with people,
Right.
vibrating with people, socializing with people. You know what I'm saying? Being face to face with people, just being a normal citizen.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. How long was you in confinement? What was the time frame at that time? Around that
About
time?
like 2 years in county jail. I, was- I
So
was
now go ahead.
I was fighting a case.
No, that makes sense. I understand. You don't have to get deep into it. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I ask is there's people that watch us or that know people that's in confinement and need that thought process that you just said, right? They need somebody to tell them what you just said, like, yo, just because you down, just because you fighting a case, or just because you locked down or whatever it may be, what I mean, still find that mindset to prepare yourself for getting out and prepare yourself for, what I mean, not feeling so down where you at. So that's motivation, which you just said. You was motivated, what I mean, to make sure that you're not that your mind is not where your physical was. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
Your mind
Exactly.
wasn't your mind was outside of that. You know what I mean? So that was the important thing. So I commend you for that. But what specific challenges have you faced as an independent artist in the Minneapolis music scene?
No support really. Less support. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just it's like an island pretty much, and that's like not just with me, with a lot of artists out there. I feel like
Right.
because just on the outside looking in, just jumping in, you'll see somebody they got good music, doing good content, but it's like they on the island. Ain't nobody supporting. You know what I'm saying? Really
Right. Right.
pushing them like that.
Right. Do you think is any is there any is there any opportunity, like if you had the opportunity to change the game in your city, you get what I'm saying, or change the environment in your city, like what will be one of the first things you think about doing?
Putting back into the city, the community as a whole. Like, if I got a big platform, guess what? The people I seen on the sideline and that
Right.
wasn't getting support, guess what? If I got a platform, I'm gonna support those people I feel that need to be supported and that's well worthy of the support and well worthy of that platform
Right. Right.
for the
Right.
city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm
Um,
more like for the people, you know what I'm saying? So regardless if you're an artist or not, or just, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I do in my situation if I
yeah.
had the blessings.
Um, last time we talked, I think you talked about somebody by the name of Kid Hazel. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So
Shout out to Kid Hazel.
yeah, shout out Kid Hazel. So you had collaborations, a collaboration with Kid Hazel. How did that come about, and what impact has it had on your music?
It came about like I'm just being on Instagram, just posting content. Different producers reaching out to me. A lot of producers reached out to me in my DM, but
Right,
when he reached out to me, obviously I'm not a groupie or nothing, but I check everybody's credentials that reach out to me. You
right,
know what I'm saying? So I checked his credentials, did my research, looked at his page, looked at his following. I'm like, oh, he really somebody in this industry. Like he 21, he Slaughter Gang's in-house producer type
okay,
shit. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
on the back end, he's working with industry people and he's working with up and coming artists, which I really respect. You know what I'm saying? Like that's decent right there. To have like a multi-platinum producer reaching out to you and like stuff like that. So
right, right. I feel you. Um, Before you talked about your outside ventures, man, you know what I'm saying? Like the entrepreneurial side of you, inflatable volleyballs, volleyball pools, I think is what we talked about before.
yeah,
Man, like dive deeper into that, man. How did that become something that you was able to jump into, and the idea and all that? Like how did that formulate for you, and to a point where you're actually doing it?
I feel like a dream. First you dream it and then you put actions behind it. So
Right,
it's like a dream and then I put an action behind it. Like, cause I feel like I'm a hustler. So that's why I named my album Him, Hustling Me.
right,
So I feel like any type of way to get revenue and just expand beyond what you're doing right now, always having lucrative ways to stay involved into the mix. You know what I'm saying? And have emotion. So I feel like with the inflatable pools, that's like good business. Like you can cater to people having private parties like adults, no kids, you know what I'm saying? They
right,
blow
right.
up the inflatable volleyball pool and then have foams blowing out of it, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You rent
yeah.
it, we rent it to you 24 hours, 1,500, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that, man. I like that idea. That's definitely dope. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely something that shows the entrepreneurial spirit. It shows that you're using your mind, right? You came up with something. You was like, yo, I got to figure this out, and then you made it happen. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
definitely, feel you on there. Um, so, what advice would you give to other indie artists looking to diversify their income stream?
Just don't stick to one thing. Just don't stick to music. Always play Monopoly out here.
Yeah,
Cause it's all a hustle. Like when you, that's just like sticking to one job. They might get laid off 1 year,
right,
and
right.
might have to fire all the employees. So always have a plan after a plan. Always keep thinking. Always keep moving ahead.
Right.
Don't be set. Don't feel settled. Like yeah, it might sound stressful, but don't feel settled. It's easy. It's cool. Just be calm and just always put a plan in place and goals in place. And once you put your plan in place and goals in place, execute it.
Yeah,
Don't just because if you don't execute, you just dreaming.
that's a
Everybody
fact.
have a dream unless you don't put action another foot forward. Then you was just dreaming.
That's a fact. You said you named your album Him, Hustle and Me, I think is what you said, right?
Yes, sir.
So talk to me about that album, man. Talk to me about how many tracks, who's producing on it, or is it out yet? Like I
Yeah,
wanna
it's out.
dive
It's
in.
out
Yeah,
on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, YouTube, any DSPs right now.
yeah.
Him, Bud Marley. Like I said, I got Kid Hazel on there, Dice on the beat. He from Toronto. Just more like I've been keeping it in house. Like I ain't been working with a lot of producers and have my sound all over the place. I
Right.
just been working with the certain people I've been working with, and I worked with and Lovey Love. He from out of Atlanta too.
Okay.
He got replacements with people like Busta Rhymes, Young Thug. So yeah,
That's
I've been and people been reaching out to me and I've been liking their work, so I tap in.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So how do you balance your music career with your entrepreneurial efforts in real estate?
I mean, I feel like I'm an octopus. Like an octopus got to have a whole bunch of shit. Got like, excuse my language,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you know they got all these different arms, so it's multitasking.
Right, right. I know it's important to, like you said, right? Don't have all your eggs in one basket. Don't, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
Don't have that one job. You gotta be able to pivot if you need to, and all
exactly.
that. You know, sometimes you gotta make a move in unexpected situations. You get what I
Facts,
mean? And it's not, it's you always gotta stay ready instead of get ready. You know what I'm saying? So
facts.
that's definitely important when it comes to, being part of any type of business, man. You never know what the environment might make you want to shift to or need to shift to. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people talk about, over the years, um, they had that period where they had to really sit down because they were forced from a COVID perspective. Do you remember that time frame where everybody had COVID and things like that? Was you doing music at that time too? Like, how long you been doing music?
Now, I was incarcerated during the
Oh, that
COVID.
time. Okay, so then okay.
During the COVID outbreak, I was incarcerated when they had the George Floyd riots, all that. Like, I
Okay.
was incarcerated.
So like when how do you maintain um your authenticity in your music while navigating this competitive indie scene?
I mean, I just try to keep it simple and stay in my own lane and just worry about me and
Right.
not to think too much.
Right, right. I mean, you really, you know what? That makes sense, right? Like if you stay in your own lane and you know the pockets that you ride in, it's not really too much people can do with that. You know what I mean? Because it's your
Right.
lane and not theirs. You get what I'm saying? It's your lane and it's not theirs. So it's definitely understandable. What do you feel like? How do you measure your success musically on the music side? And then compare it to your entrepreneurial side. Like, is there different heights that you looking to achieve on one side more than the other, or what I mean, you kind of looking at them on the even playing field?
I'm trying to achieve great heights on both sides. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right,
why I got
right,
all these different lanes, like a highway. A
right,
highway ain't just got one lane. That goes back to piggyback what you're saying. Like you just depend on this one job, then
right,
sure that highway might have to get rebuilt, and then guess what? You can't cross it no more because it's only one lane there to
right,
get over to the other side.
right, right. You mentioned dealing with high profile producers. So what are some of your key lessons or from learn that you from collaborating with these high profile producers? Is there anything specific you learned working with them than any other type of music producer?
Yeah, it brings out a different energy in you. It just brings out like, okay, damn, like these people work with people out here, and that just brings out a different fire underneath you, and just give you the like. Even though you might not get a lot of likes, a lot of views, but certain people reaching out to you,
Right.
and then it just give you that motivation. Just like, all right, it's time to play. It's time not to play. It's time to get to it.
Right. Right. Um
It's
it's,
just
it's
another way of inspiration without somebody even telling you.
but what's incredible though and dope about it is that you don't really need thousands and thousands of people to make you successful or make you feel like this is what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get that one person that's motivated, you know what I mean, that believe in you. That's enough fire right there. And then they start talking, and then they bring more people, and then when you get those producers, they start talking to other producers. Yo, this dude Bud Marley doing his thing. You might want to link up with him. You know what I'm saying? And you start to get different looks and different opportunities. And it really only you only might have only touched 100 people, but those 100 people are more valuable than that other 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, facts.
so that's what I like about it. Like, we get small audiences, but those audiences talk. You get what I'm
Right,
saying? So
facts. It could
they
be one or two people
right,
that
right.
can mean more than 1,000 people.
Right. And they out there talking and they making sure like, yo, did you know about this? Do you know about this? Yo, check this out. Word of mouth is faster than anything. You know what I'm saying? Faster than anything. So, shout out to the people always supporting artists and things like that. How do you see the future of independent music evolving, and what role do you hope to play in it?
The future I see in independent music revolving is like it's gonna keep revolving and more artists self-dependent on themselves, investing into themselves, putting themselves on platforms and not relying on holding somebody's hand and waiting for somebody to cut you a check to do anything.
Yeah.
Like it's more like it's gonna be more like grabbing the bull by his horns.
Right.
And I'm seeing that right now. You know what I'm saying? The role I feel like I play in it is to be in that same position. Like
Right.
either if I'm a CEO and I'll just stop rapping and I just got an ear for talent because I got an ear for talent.
Right. Right.
So
There's labels out here, what I mean, like Empire or right now Rock Nation, when they come, when they merge with Equity and things like that are allowing, people that they work with that have independent labels, that have their own labels, to work with them through a distribution type situation. You get what I'm saying? So they're
right,
making it a lot easier for you to do it on your own without necessarily having the label to do it for you. You get what I'm saying?
facts,
So
facts.
you still need those relationships, you still need those connections, and uh, as you develop your brand more. But it's come to a point where you're not reliant on a major label to do it for you. If you know the business, what I mean, it might take you a little longer to get where they are, but the fact is that you can run it from front to back, and you already know the ins and outs. You can distribute it, and you can get your own artists, and you can put people on. Versus before, when it was like, yo, if you ain't on Def Jam or Universal or Warner, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't on
Right.
any of those, don't nobody know what you're talking about. You get what I'm saying? So do you plan on doing something like that when you build a label and you turn that label into, and you get distribution and really turn that into, a major yourself?
Yeah. That's something I've been planning out, writing in my journal, you know what I'm saying? Keeping in thought.
Right,
Cause
right.
like I said, I got an ear for talent too.
Yeah.
And I can write music or I can just throw my little insight on something, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's like one of my goals too is having a label you know what I'm saying? Like having an official label where I'm signing the artist, you know what I'm saying? And being behind them too.
Yeah.
And stand on independency, like,
No, that makes sense. That makes
and
sense.
just change and just be something different all around. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. This is On the Grind Live. I don't know if we asked you this on the radio, but I'm gonna ask you this again if we did. What do you feel like your definition of grind is?
put in the work. Don't wait for no handouts. Go out and get it. Don't wait for nobody. Stand on business. Put a plan together. Put your goals in place. Execute it. You know what I'm saying? Run the routes you need to run. Cause
Right.
that's what grind come with. Grind come with putting in work. You know what I'm saying? It's from the
Yeah.
streets to punching the clock or being a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? You just
Right.
gotta put
Right.
in the grind, put in the work. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. What is one of your favorite songs that you created, man? Do you got a favorite song that, like, yo, that you go back to and listen to, like, yo, this is the one right here? Do you have one of those, or does it really, all your songs really pop off for you like that?
Well, I got a few. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I got a few. I ain't trying to hunt my horn, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
one of the ones I like is like "Sky's the Limit" on my album "Home."
Okay.
So
Uh,
it's just more like that song is more like being like vulnerable, and letting people like only way up is the sky because it had no limits.
right.
Like stuff like that, giving people motivation. Like no matter what you're going through, like
Yeah.
It's never too late. You're never too old to learn, and it's never too late to earn. Like,
That's a fact.
and that's whatever you want to accomplish in life. You know what I'm saying? These are the things I punch in my head. Like, I can say it to somebody, but I can't make them eat it or drink it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
I feel you. What else you got? What else you got going on? You want to make sure the people know.
Oh yeah, I'm finna be on tour. I'm finna go on tour, the OMB PZ tour, September 4th, in Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Columbus, Ohio.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Doing a little promo tour run. I'm working on a new project. I'm my daddy's son. You know what I'm saying? I've been working with 88 Major Keys. He a dope engineer. Bringing a different sound to my mix and mastering.
Right. That's definitely dope. Let the people know again. Social network, man. How can they get the Bud Marley?
They can find me at Bud Marley Instagram _BUD Marley _IG, TikTok Bud Marley OMG.
Okay, cool.
Album on all platforms, iTunes.
Him is out right now.
Yeah, him out right now on all platforms, DSPs.
Yeah, definitely. Any shout outs you want to give to anybody that you know?
Man, shout out all the producers. Shout out all the real people in the world. You know what I'm saying? Just keep moving forward and stay down for the come up.
That's a fact. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you tuning in with us. You know what I'm saying? Keep grinding, keep doing what you do. You know what I mean? And we're gonna have this up and make sure people know. If you missed it, you just tuning in. What y'all need to do is hit that rewind button on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or hit that button on Facebook. Stop playing. You know what I mean? And you can see it again, streaming live. You know what I mean? But outside of that, we're going to be pushing this and promoting this. So we make sure other people see it as well. Salute to you, my G. We talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, for sure, big homie.
All right.